Hi, and welcome to the 5th release video of 2023. We're excited to show you some of the new improvements and new features we've added with this release. And in this video, we will only show some of the highlights. So please make sure to check out the release notes that are linked in the description below this video. We will start with my colleague Lina, who will show you one feature for the company profile, and then continue with the location module.
In the company profile, if you're using business partners and you have created company catalog with all the companies with necessary information filled in, this information can now be easier applied to different companies that have been created on the projects. For example, this one, I can now multi-select all the companies that have similar names, edit them, and then assign to the official company. All this data will be visible here, but also come to the projects.
In location, we have added the option to save colorize on your filters. This means that if you, for example, want to colorize on your system name in this case, then you can save this on your filter directly. So if you go in on your filters, these can be saved. Also, if you filter out objects, so my colors, just as an example. And now this is saved directly on the filters. So if I remove this and I go in, click on my colors, you can see it enables the colors that you have added from Colorize. These are also available on the mobile app. We have also made some small improvements on our measuring. So now when you go in and create a measure, we won't change the toolbar, so we will stay in measure mode. But then you can do your measures. But we have added the option, if I want to do a new measure, that you can just click enter. If you click enter, then it will do the same action as you had before. So you can just keep on adding measures. And you can also click on Control Z if you want to remove the old measures, so an undo function.
To start with the new features related to infrastructure projects, I want to present the new default map view option. Currently, you can bring your own raster information or connect with different WMTS layers in Dalux. If you want to set up one of your own layers as a standard view for the map, you will need to go to the Location Setup menu, Custom Map Layers, and from here, check the Establish as a default mark under the Edit option. By doing so, this layer will be preselected by default every time you access the map view. A new small but quite useful feature is the possibility to display the change of the alignment at a given distance. Once the alignment is active on the map, you can zoom in to the line to make the station values visible to navigate through it. In order to set up this change information, go to Settings and choose the Alignment menu under Location. Here, can you add or edit the station increment for each alignment file in the project to be displayed on the map. Last but not least, I want to present a series of improvements to our current cross-section feature. When creating a cross-section, either from the top-down view or the map, you will see a new change marker button at the right-hand side of the toolbar. This button, aside from showing you the exact position of the station at any time, will allow you to mark a specific station along the alignment and take the cross-section to that specific point in the chainage. If you want to navigate along the model, you can press and hold the Control key in your keyboard and use the wheel of your mouse to move forwards or backwards. You will notice now that by navigating this way, we will follow the direction of the alignment and adjusting the camera in order to get a perpendicular view of the cross-section at all times. Please notice as the change marker will update automatically every time you move along the alignment. To finalize the infrastructure improvements, we have expanded the toolbar for the cross-section view with all our viewer functionalities. When looking at a cross-section, you will be able to measure, but also apply filters or create bookmarks of any specific view or chainage.
And now to the box module. The first feature I want to show you is the possibility to set certain metadata fields as required for specific folders and specific file types. Already before today, we had some features that help you request certain metadata like our file naming templates, but now we have this new option. So when I select a couple of files that I want to upload, what you see here in the window is that I have a specific file name template, so therefore some of the information is already read, but some are not part of the file name and therefore not filled out yet. But as you can see here with the star, they are required. So if I try to upload these, I'll get the message that I am not allowed to do so, and it's very visible what information is needed before I can upload these files. The way you set this up is you go to the box settings, and here in the metadata card you have the metadata requirements, and here we already have the model, drawing, and document type. So for each type you can say, well, every time a drawing is uploaded, I need these specific metadata fields to be filled out. But it might also be that not everyone in the project is obliged to deliver these specific metadata, so therefore you can also link them to certain folders, saying that only if something is uploaded to this folder and the subfolders, this rule should be applied.
In Box, we have added a cool new feature where you can open and edit Office files directly inside of Box. So in this case, I have a Word file that I have uploaded, and now when I open this actually opens directly inside of Office Online, but inside of Dalux. So what you can see here is all of the text I have. If I have multi-page document, I can go through it, and this works with the Word, Excel, PowerPoint, so all Office Online formats. You can also edit them directly from within the files area. So if I click on edit, it will go to a new tab. In here, I go to Office Online. I click say hello, just as an example. And now this one is saving, it saves automatically. You can also work multiple people on the same document in here. You'll be able to see who is working on it. But when I close this, it jumps back. You can see I'm looking for a new version here. When this version is ready, you can click here, show latest version, and you can see here now I've edited this. This will become a version 2 of the file, and I'll be able to publish this directly into my published areas if you use multiple areas. You can only edit files if you have the user rights to do it on the folder, and it's only in the files area, which means that you cannot edit files in published files or any other places. And go to our release notes if you want to learn more about this feature. And note that this feature will be released gradually, so it might not be there on the release date. As default, this feature is disabled. So to enable it, you'll have to go to Settings, go to Box, and now you have this Microsoft Office for the web, where you can activate and deactivate this. As a really nice extension to our Box module, we have added class detection. So in here on the files, we have this model validation where you can set up your requirements, and then we have this called clashes. So in here, you can select your file and you can see what does this file clash with, or these models clash with. In here, you can start to drill down if there's something specific that you want to look at. For example, the doors. Now we are only looking at the doors on this file and what they are clashing with. There are a lot of features inside of this model validation clashes, so we won't be able to go through it in this release video, but please go to our help center where we have tried to all the main things about this feature, how it is set up and how it works.
We have also made improvements for apartments. If we first look at the units, then we have added 2 new extra columns here, issue submission start and issue submission deadline. These dates will be visible here and they can be edited on multiple units at once. So if you select multiple units and say edit, you will be able to change the dates for all of these units. And now if we look at apartment issues, last time we made it possible to see linked tasks and linked task statuses. This time we made it possible to multi-select different issues and close them at once. So for example, if you can see that all the linked tasks are closed and approved, then you can close these issues at once. And also a small improvement for the announcements in apartments. If you create a new announcement, you will now be able to set the date and the time for how long this announcement will be visible for the residents. And for field tasks, we have added a new column called Has Taken Action. This column can be activated here, and it lists all the participants who have actively been involved in the task, for example, creating it, responding, approving, or closing it. By filtering on specific person, it will be very easy to find all the tasks he has been involved with. For the daily log, we have added possibility to export data from the list view of the entries. It will be possible to filter the data you want, and then by clicking export, you can export it into Excel.
The highlight for Owner's Portal in this release is that we've made it possible to export selected filters. Going to Settings and Owner's Portal here. Now we can select one or multi-select specific filters and export these rather than only exporting all, making these visible inside of the Owner's Portal here.
We've also made some improvements for the meeting minutes. And the first one is regarding the attachments. Previously, it was only possible to view the attachments when opening the meeting item itself, but now you also see the attachments directly from the meeting. So this gives a quick overview of what's been added to the different meeting items. And when printing a meeting, we did also include the attachments here. And as you can see here in the report, this has also received a bigger overhaul. So it should now be easier to distinguish between the different meeting items. Previously, it could be a bit hard to read if there was a lot of text, but now there's a clear indication of what's when a new meeting item starts.
First thing for the handover highlights in this release is that we've added the option to include descriptions on status changes for assets. So wanting to change the status, we now see this description field we have here where we can give a description upon these status changes. Now this is included in the history of the asset visible for the review manager. The next highlight is the possibility of printing or exporting the history of an asset. Clicking print here, we'll now see that we have this include history option. And the history is now added as an extension. Also included the prior feature explained, with status descriptions being a part of that history. This is also enabled for export of the entire list of assets, for example. We also have include history here. The final highlight for handover in this release is that we've made it possible to view assets with locations based on BIM filters on drawings directly from handover. Selecting an asset, you can now click Show on Drawing here. This opens up a dialog in order for you to see the 2D projected objects from the BIM filter chosen on that asset.